99.3 Nigeria Info.
Well, this is 99.3 Nigeria Info. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the second half of Dailies today on your number one news and talk station, Nigeria Info. My name is Wemimo. Adewuni. Jimi Disu joins me now. Good morning.
Morning, everybody. My name is Jimi Disu.
Nice to meet you,
be
sir.
here. Nice to meet you.
Okay, let's start. Remember, you can join the conversation on our live stream. Yes, we're streaming live right now on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Same on YouTube. You can find the live stream there. Leave us your comment. Also, drop your comments on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. Use the hashtag Nigeria Info MCF, and we can read from you. Let's start off with the Punch newspaper. There's a report here. Okay, I think I'll let you deal with this. It's on the panorama page.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I'd like first of all, I would advise anybody who wants to take more than a passing interest in this COVID era and the COVID whatever, vaccinations and so on, to read a detailed interview with somebody who should know. And is our own eminent virologist, Professor Tomori. And he gives insights into so many things. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to go through this, but it says there are also those that say the AstraZeneca vaccine is the least effective among the vaccines approved for emergency use by WHO. What do you have to say to this? And the professor says, I've heard one of our senators make the same comment. AstraZeneca is not the most efficacious vaccine of the lot, okay? But you can store it in the ordinary refrigerator, unlike the Pfizer vaccine or Moderna, which require ultra-low temperatures. I hope you listen to that. Mm-hmm. For one Pfizer dose, you can buy 5 to 6 AstraZeneca doses. Okay, for one Pfizer dose, you can buy 6 of them. So there are other considerations much more than efficacy. In any case, these vaccines are donations purchased with other people's contribution. You know, we are a beggar nation. We went to beg. And they say, Awu the Rumbele. And it says, when Nigeria... Where is this now? But you can store it, so the other purchase. When Nigeria wakes up from slumber and decides to buy vaccines with her own money, she will have to consider other issues of storage and cost along with the efficacy of the vaccine. And there's another interesting question here. It says, does the vaccine confer lifelong immunity? It says nobody knows, as the vaccine has only been used for less than a year, so we cannot be talking of lifelong immunity. Another question is asked of him. Suspension of the AstraZeneca vaccine in some countries has a concern for many Nigerians. How do we convince Nigerians that the vaccine is safe? Then listen to what Professor Tomori says. He says, to say there is concern is understandable. However, we should know that over 300 million people have received at least one dose of the vaccine. Over 300 million people. Mm-hmm. The number of adverse reactions is insignificant. More importantly, according to WHO, World Health Organization, there's currently no linkage or causal association of the severe side effects with COVID-19 vaccine. He's asked, what will happen to those who refuse to take the second shot of the AstraZeneca vaccine? Says they are likely not going to have a robust immunity. The second dose guarantees a fuller and more robust immunity, and so on and so forth. So instead of people like us trying to see what we can make out of this, if you have a man like Professor Tomori grant a national newspaper an interview, it is something worth reading. And there's another story in the Vanguard that goes along with it. It says concerns of AstraZeneca vaccine disrupts vaccination campaigns. PSN says suspension worrisome but no cause for alarm. DR Congo postpones rollout, and Lagos begins rollout in 88 health facilities today. And it has, if you want to know, you have to buy the Vanguard or read the Vanguard, as it were, to get the details of how you can access the Lagos State whatever. But I still stand by what I said yesterday, that we should tarry a while and have a clear understanding before we inject our people.
Okay. Let's see this story here from the Punch newspaper. Adebanjo emerges as Afenifere leader as Fashoranti steps down over old age.
Yes. But isn't that funny? Because Adebanjo is over 90.
So I wanted you to deal with that itself. I mean,
let, let me first of all make one thing clear. Afenifere is a Yoruba cultural group. I'm not their member, so what they do really it doesn't concern me. I'm just looking at the larger picture. Okay, I don't understand what I can understand what it was set out to be, but these days the rhetoric that comes out of that group shows that they might need to realign themselves. But I'm looking at the significance in our environment totally. When, unfortunately, we always never know when to quit. If a man of 95 is quitting for old age, I don't know how he got to be leader of that's it's their own call. Why would you then be handing over to a man who's about 92? But again, that's their own call. Where I'm going is this: we need to curtail this habit of not wanting to pass on things to younger people. That's why we haven't progressed, and it's an African thing all through and through.
right.
It's an African. A lot of our, have died with so much knowledge. By now, Afenifere really and truly should be led by the 50-something, 60-year, who is closer to the realities of the world today and doesn't have these old action group prejudices and whatever, because that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can see Afenifere believe that they're some kind of war machine. First of all, I get to see that. I think they like being in the newspapers every day. That's neither there nor there. But there is a need, if they want to be relevant, for them to do a rethink about how they approach national issues. But again, that's their business. You want to ask yourself, what kind of following do they have now? I don't think it's anywhere near what it was like 20 years ago when you had it wasn't APC then, what was it called? The AD.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But they did quite well during the military era. You must give that to them. You must give to Chief Adebanjo, who is now the new acting leader, that he has been a fighter. But I think even as a fighter, he should know what they need to do when to rest. What they need to do is groom younger people who are more in sync with the realities on ground today and have some of the prejudices these people have. It doesn't exist anymore.
I saw a report in one of the papers where
Yes.
even Adebanjo had said, I'm trying to look for it,
Yes.
that he would have preferred a younger person.
Exactly. So why did he take it?
So, why did he take it?
Why did he take it? Because you see, you need a much fresher approach to the politics that you have in place right now. This old, we're against them, we're not going to do anything with the North. All these things are gone. Our kids don't know this. Our kids in their 30s and 40s, they don't have all these discriminatory attitudes. And therefore, for them to be relevant, and I think also at some point, to be honest with you, they would have to change the mindset of their spokesperson, who believes that everything should be dealt with a cutlass. Right? And I'm being dead serious. Because in the world of today, there is a limit to which you can be combative. And you expect. There was one embarrassing one when Major General was on trial, for example, and I had to criticize them heavily here. But I wish them luck. My focus on the story is not on Afenifere, it's more on for me to address our people, to say that let us give younger people. They are in the world.
Yeah. I think things have changed.
Things have changed.
Things have really changed.
You can't have those rigid old. Awolowo was a fantastic, wasn't a fantastic politician, but he had a fantastic mind. I believe that Awolowo might not have necessarily been a good president in a political setting that we have now, but he would have been a fantastic prime minister if you had a president doing all what, and then you get him to be a fantastic, brilliant mind, that man. But when it came to politics,
Okay, let's jog it up because time is running way ahead of us.
Okay.
Let's talk about the minimum wage. It's still in the papers. The Punch is reporting this. Differential wage bill starts with governors, political office holders. Labour tells National Assembly. Somehow they echo some of the comments of some of my listeners on the show who say, if you want to move minimum wage to the concurrent list, see this advice that they give.
I'm listening
Move
to you.
the salaries
yes.
of the lawmakers also to the concurrent list and let them be paid by their states. That's what my colleague said. So instead of them being federal workers, let them also, because since they're representing people from their state, let them also be on the same payroll pay structure as in the States. Move theirs also to the concurrent list. And that's primarily what Labour is also saying.
You know, Wemimo, we've had a completely lame duck Labour whatever, which I believe has been seriously compromised. 20 years down the line, the man who is on the other side of the negotiation doesn't know how much the man he's talking to, he doesn't know how much he's paid. But it's comfortable to sit down with him. And I say no, I believe the Labour Union should have been more combative. I don't mean physically. Long time ago, to say that, look, what you guys pay yourselves is completely unacceptable. Even when all the governors' pension plans were being, where was Labour? So every time I hear things about Labour, when we're going to strike, we're going to do this, it's just hot air. I'm not going to allow anybody fool me. See, the Labour people, I must say to a large extent, are part of the conspiracy. We know that. They are part of the... Had they not been part of the conspiracy, we wouldn't be where we are 20 years down the line. Look at the humongous amounts that we hear are being paid and look at to get a minimum wage for our own workers. And you sit down there, day in, day out.
I even listened to one of the
going back and forth.
Attacking Omar. When I heard that interview, I just shut my phone. I mean, I heard him saying, why is Labour clamoring? They're just like quarreling. The states cannot pay. So, I mean,
you see, poverty, I said, I think it was to Sheriff, poverty is a worse disease than cancer. Do you know why? If somebody has cancer, I can't transmit it. Poverty has wrecked us down the line. And only God will save this country. Compromises galore. You understand what I'm saying? So, all this is what I call Turenchi. I don't know about concurrent list or consecutive list. What I do know is that what we hear is being paid these people, our political office holders, is completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. I was speaking to a director in the Lagos State Ministry who was telling me yesterday that 2 or 3 years after her colleague retired, she hadn't gotten her benefits and she just died. You understand what I'm saying? But look at the governor's pension plan. Until we're able to you understand what I'm saying? Everybody now is looking for something to bite. Nobody wants to make a commitment on behalf of other people. So if you want to get yourself interested in the Turenchi going on, so be it. I'm doing this just because it's my job. Honestly.
Turenchi means English, so it's not that complicated.
Everybody knows what Turenchi means.
No, not everybody knows it.
Let us ask Philip.
Do you?
Everybody, please, if you know what Turenchi is, can you just tweet?
Tell us. You know what? Did you know before I said it what Turenchi meant? Okay, let's see this one from the Vanguard. Yeah. Wakili, his 2 sons face murder, kidnapping, conspiracy charges. Court remands him in prison custody. Youth raise headers settlement in Shaki over farmer's death. So this is coming from the Ibarakwa
crisis. Yeah. Well, first thing, I'm glad that this has happened. The gentleman will have his day in court, which is the way to go, really. Instead of allowing this issue to become political and making heroes of nobodies. I've seen a few people gas on TV about this and that and that and this and so now he's been charged for murder, he's been charged for kidnapping and so on and so forth. Now he's in prison custody and he will have his day in court. These protests need to be curtailed, or else, you see, if you don't wake up and condemn these protests, you're going to find that one day you'll become a victim out of something that has no bearing towards you. And I think the NSAS activity that we had should be an eye-opener for our people. This idea of taking the law into your hands is very dangerous. You know, this idea of people power is a very dangerous phenomenon, and nobody knows who will be the next victim, including those who think that they are part of the people.
Yeah.
So we need to bring some sanity, and how do we do that? Justice, very important. Mind what, let people be held responsible for the things that they say. It's very important.
I had a spine-shivering conversation with a friend some days ago, and sincerely, everything you've said is just right on point. If we don't deal with the issues now...
they're going to come back to haunt
you.
They
will. It's like stockpiling stuff.
We have allowed to, in the name of democracy, we have some people think that it's just a freebie. You can go there, say whatever you like. No, we need to start holding people responsible for this, especially even again those of us in the media.
Yeah.
But then influential people who would drop a bomb and take the next plane out and wait and see what happens.
Where would you go to?
We need to be more discerning. And I hope especially our young people would know that. I've seen things in the social media about certain persons. Some of them, maybe say we know their head not correct. They have a large following. They will create all the confusion and take the next plane and hop off. I hope our young people will get wise to all this.
Okay, this story is staring us in the face everywhere. Vatican took quite a decision some days ago. The Vanguard has a report on same-sex marriage. Can backs Pope Francis, seeks reversal of gay law in African countries.
The Pope doesn't need Can's backing. The Pope is only stating what is obvious, and that's what Christianity says about homosexuality. So, this idea of Can backing, I don't want Can to back all the time. When I say back, now B-A-R-K. You need to be a little bit restrained. You don't jump into every discussion. The Pope doesn't need your backing.
But okay? I guess I'm just showing the solidarity.
Yes, I still go back to what I said that people misunderstood. People said that I am supporting one guy. You remember one young guy even cursed me on this, but me, I get returned to sender. If he curses me, go back, go meet him. But I still plead understanding with the issue of homosexuality. I am not for or against. I just plead understanding. Let us know: is it a mental illness? Is it an affliction? What exactly is it? Can we throw all homosexuals into a bottomless pit like we always do, the devil and so on and so on? Now, that's a joke. But let us know what exactly it is. Can they help themselves? Because you see, I still maintain that if a man, it's okay for you to run down gays, but the truth is, can a man decide that he wants to be gay?
Yes, some people can't.
Well, that's everything in life. Or if a man is so inclined, what can we do to put him back on what we consider the straight and narrow? Is it a medical issue? Is it a mental issue? Is it a spiritual issue? Before we throw the baby away with the bathwater, let us have a clear understanding of it, and let's have a discussion on it. And that is all I said. So somebody went and said he's supporting gays. I'm not gay.
Let me take some comments off Twitter.
Why did you wait a minute?
I stopped myself. I stopped myself. Let me zip my lips on this one. Mr. Ame on Twitter says, Labour has become toothless. There have been so many grey areas of the current government, and the docility of Labour is epic. Seriously compromised. Reasons Nigerians don't take them seriously. You don't call off a protest to return to a negotiation table that produces zero result. Okpala for sure says, good morning. Excuse me, Jimi and Wemimo, please, doesn't this new CBN tariff include the other bank charges? Join the show at 8. You will find out more. Joy Forever says, old men should allow young men lead. I guess he's reacting to the Afenifere story. Nigeria is low now because same men that took us out of independence are still here. Let lawmakers and governors take minimum wages too. NLC is only backing, no twos. On AstraZeneca says it seems controversial. Let us check the efficacy. Muhyiddin Eleshi on the 6 Naira 98 kobo for USSD transaction. It says that this approach is not only transparent in the sense that it will ensure the amount remains the same regardless of the number of sessions per transaction. Okay, let me see and take some from Facebook before we go on. Okay, they're replying on the Turenchi conversation. John AB says Turenchi in Hausa is an Hausa language that means English. Pass, you passed. Well done. On YouTube, Ahmed Kanyideola Sukomi, what's the meaning of Turenchi? Okay. Latif Afodu replies him and says English. Okay, they're all answering. Sombolaji, correct. Aderemi, I see you're correct. Okay, let's see this one in from the Nation newspaper. Fayose meets Babangida and Abdusalami. Okay.
Well, from all indications, and just by sheer coincidence, I watched a clip of an interview that Fayose had with Channels yesterday, and it was quite reconciliatory, quite matured in its discussion. So it appears as if this gentleman might be thinking of running for presidency. Yes, it says here that that he went to see Babangida in Mina. That it may be unconnected. The nation length may be unconnected with his presidential ambition and other national issues. I don't think the president we want in 2023 is an entertainer who will be buying bolly on the road and doing all kinds of drama. We need a serious-minded president, a man well exposed, well exposed. People like additional people, well exposed people who know what it takes. We don't need an entertainer. We don't need what Yorubas will call an alawada. And I think that the earlier we stand up to some people, this is not to say anything, take anything away from Fayose. He could govern them in Ekiti. That's fair enough. But I think we need a more serious approach because our country is in trouble. We are in dire straits, and this is not the time for us to kid ourselves. Okay? We are in dire straits, and I call on the elite and those who know to quickly rise up against some people that are coming up. This, I said, is not to take anything away from Fayose, but I think Nigeria could jolly well do with a new and sensible beginning. Besides, the man has, if to the best of my knowledge, is still facing some wala in courts. I mean, let all that clear before, but let us stop these things early enough before it grows to become a monster. Remember that politics is at the end of the day is an issue of numbers. And the earlier we start educating our people not to get carried away, okay, but he's a man of the people, that boy, he went to the Israel, and so the earlier we begin to sensitize our people, the better. I'm sorry, like I said.
I would have a comment, but we're really out of time. I would say that, like you said, politics is a game of numbers. At the end of the day, it goes all back to the parties and who they present as candidates. And many of them want to win the election, so they look for people who are dramatic, who can get the votes, at the end of the day. But we're out of time. I'm sorry.
Out of time?
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
We are.
I just want to know.
Yeah, cause you do the full run at 9. Jimi Disu will be back at 9 o'clock on Daily Digest. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. We're out on a break now. When we do come back, we'll be talking to you about the USSD code. Let's help you understand it. How much would you be paying and what does it mean? Are you actually paying more or less? Bring your calculator at 8 a.m. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. Jimi Disu, thank you.
Thank you very much, Wemimo.